Key. Hey y'all, welcome to the Blue Plate Special. We're right here in downtown Knoxville inside. Visit Knoxville. Feel free to come join us if you like. If you can't be here with us today, feel free to slide on over to the WDVX Facebook page or YouTube channel where you can watch it streaming live today. We have two guests for you today on the show visiting, both of them based out of Nashville, Tennessee. Erik Stucky is here and will be up the second half of the show today to get things started. Give a great big welcome to Lance Cowan to the Blue Plate Special.
Another cup of coffee black, another ache in my poor back. You think by now I'd have the knack of traveling alone, but it's just me in this old car on 1,000 miles of broken tar. And I just saw a falling star. So far, so good, so far home. I bet the folks all miss me so. Maybe not, well, who could know? 'Cause things like that are touch and go. But what's a man to do? I'm out here on this interstate. It's 3 a.m. and I'm wide awake, and as long as this old car don't break, so far, so good, so far from home. And the ones I love, all I'm thinking of is turning this car around. Another cup of coffee black, another ache in my poor back. You think by now I'd have the knack of traveling alone, but when I'm old and when I'm tired, I'll sit at home and I'll stoke the fire. But until then, I'm up for hire. So far, so good, so far from home. So far, so good. New strings are stretching. Well, it's nice to see you guys. Good to see you, Lee. Do you mind if I tune this? I'll be fast. I know you hate dead air. Everybody tells me to just rest easy. They don't believe it should take much time. Everybody tells me I'll find another. They don't know this heart of mine. Everybody tells me your leaving will help me. It's for the best, they say, I find. All that they see is their own situation, and they don't know this heart of mine. This heart of mine is forever. This heart of mine is for sure. Though you're gone, I can't forget ever. This heart of mine is still yours. Everybody tells me they know how I'm feeling. They've all felt worse pain sometime in their lives. Funny, but that don't bring no healing. They don't know this heart of mine. This heart of mine is forever. This heart of mine is for sure. Though you're gone, I can't forget ever. This heart of mine is still yours. You packed your bags and all your belongings. You walked right out of my life. Now I'm praying soon you'll start longing for the heart you left behind. This heart of mine is forever. This heart of mine is for sure. Though you're gone, I can't forget ever. This heart of mine is still yours. This heart of mine is still yours.
This is Lance Cowan with us here today on the Blue Plate Special. Lance is based out of Nashville, Tennessee. I read you came there from Kentucky. How long have you been in Nashville?
I moved to Nashville in 1984, so a couple of years.
All right, a couple of years.
Yeah.
You were talking to me earlier, and you said you've been working in the business for what, 35 years or so?
I've been doing publicity for other artists for, since '88, I guess. My first client was Newgrass Revival, which people in this area will probably still remember.
And is there a coincidence that
would
John Cowan
It was the first time anybody knew how to pronounce my name. Because I got Cowan all the time before that. But I tell everybody he's my granddad, but he doesn't like that much.
Well, so yeah, you did. You've done publicity all this time, and you've finally just now gotten around to doing your own thing. And
yeah, I just felt like it was finally time to do it. I've been writing songs since before I moved to Nashville, thinking that it would be so easy to write country music till I got there and saw the guys who really know how to write it. And I've been really blessed to be working with guys who I could learn from. You know, I've worked with Joe Ely, who's one of the greatest guys I know, and worked with who else? Nancy Griffith and Lyle Lovett, and guys that you could sit back in the back and learn from them without them ever knowing that I wrote a song, which I guess Joe knows now, but for the most part, nobody knew I did this. I did have a publishing deal for a few years, though, so I had a publisher that was, going around and trying to get me cuts, and I got a few cuts. Janice Ian recorded a song she and I wrote together, and Joan Baez toured with something that Janice and I wrote, so
cool.
Had modest successes.
So now you've got the new project out. It just came out after all this time, his very first project. So tell us all about the new record.
Well, these are songs that I've written over the last few years. I had some amazing players on it. Sam Bush plays on it. Pat Flynn who is on it. Danny Dugmore, who plays with Linda Ronstadt and James Taylor. Dave Pomeroy. Andrea Zahn plays on it, who is James Taylor's fiddle player. Keith Sewell from the Chicks plays on it. I've just been really blessed, the generosity of those guys, and they're friends of mine. So, it's been fun. I'm having to learn this from a different angle, though, because being a songwriter / artist is a lot different from being a publicist for. Now, who do I yell at? I have to yell
Yourself.
at myself. I have to look in the mirror and say, "Why didn't you turn that in on time?"
Well, goes to show you can still learn new things.
I'm having a great time.
All right.
I'm having a great
Well,
time.
coming up Friday, he'll be playing on WMOT's Finally Friday there in Nashville. I'm not sure the location of
It's
that
at 3rd
one.
and Lindsley.
3rd and Lindsley.
Yeah, it's
They move them around sometimes, so I get confused at where they are.
No, it's at 3rd and Lindsley, and I go on at 12:45
Okay.
Central Time.
Central Time.
1:45 your time.
You can find more information simply by visiting lancecowanmusic.com. And feel free to shake and howdy with them after the show.
Great.
Thank them for being here with us today. If you're interested, there are a merch available as well. I'm going to back on out of the way, and we're going to get more music from Lance Cowan on the Blue Plate Special.
This is a song that was written about a guy that I grew up the street from. Little Johnny Pierce, he grew his hair long. He sat on his front porch singing Dylan songs. All the neighbors wondered what the hell was going on. When he mowed a peace sign right into his parents' front lawn. Well, his teacher and his preacher and his parents all concurred. We gotta nip this thing before it grows much worse. They said, Johnny, get your head out of the clouds and come down to earth. They could see through those linen glasses that he did not hear their words. Is it all just a passing fad, this talk of love and brother? If it was as simple as that, wouldn't life be good? Yeah, yeah. Well, peace on the earth was the wish that he made as he blew out 18 candles on his birthday cake. And even Uncle Sam sent a card to celebrate. Well, Johnny was so scared to go, but too scared to run away. Is it all just a passing fad, this talk of love and brotherhood? If it was as simple as that, wouldn't life be good? Yeah, you know that it would. Well, now so many years have come and gone. So many memories have passed along. The neighbors sometimes hear those old Dylan songs, and his dad still mows the peace sign in the front lawn. Yeah, 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 yeah. There's a little house on the skirts of town. remember it well, I can see it now. White frame on hallowed ground, where most of my soul was lost and found. Bought a beat-up Falcon when I turned 18, and I sped away for a childish dream. I never looked back, never turned around. I was headed out to get lost and found. I was headed out to get lost. Man, it's a twisted road that leads you to God knows where. Suddenly back where you come from, it's no longer there. New lines on a young man's face where the miles of time are so clearly traced. Too soon the years unwound and left so much of me in the lost and found. I was yearning for a simpler truth, and I found my way back to the place of my youth. The white frame had fallen down, just one dream that was lost and found. So many dreams get lost. Man, it's a twisted road that leads you to God knows where. Suddenly back where you come from, it's no longer there. I knew a girl years ago named Tanya, Indiana, which I always loved the name. She was a journalist, and this is 25 years ago, before the dyes were so readily available for your hair. And she was from New York. She got them before the rest of us. This is a song that she inspired. She's got a fake Picasso copy hanging on her wall. She bought it at the new frame place down in the mall. Got a 2-carat cubic zirconia ring. Man, what a deal, that home shopping TV, and her hair is currently red. She speaks faux French while sipping on California wine. She says, s'il vous plaît, Ernest and Julio, do it upright. She strokes her porcelain china Siamese and basks in the shade of a silk ficus tree, and her hair is currently red. Well, sometimes she talks a little too much. She gets rattled, nervous, she loses her touch. But don't ever doubt her, she means just what she said. And her hair is currently red. There's a red red rhinestone heart she uses to button the sleeve of a synthetic leopard skin jacket that she got from me. Well, I know there are those that would question her taste just the way they did mine on our very first date, and her hair is currently red. Well, sometimes she talks a little too much. She gets rattled, she gets nervous, and she loses her touch. But don't ever doubt her, she means exactly what she says. And her hair is currently red. I start counting down to spring around the 1st of October every year. And we're getting there. But every winter gets a little more miserable to me. And I don't get to play this song much more because it'll be spring in a couple of weeks. So I have to get it out of the way now. I tape the windows up, throw a blanket by the door, but the cold wind still blows in. I turn the heater up, throw a log on the fire, but this drafty house still will not give in. I can't stand the winter, the cold stillness in the air that cuts right through you and lingers on for so long every year. Just reminds me how it was warm when she was here. I turn the coffee on and I tell myself this house is warm, but I can't convince my feet that's true. So I sweater up my heart by remembering the parts of a burning fire that I once knew. I can't stand the winter, the cold stillness in the air that cuts right through you and lingers on for so long every year. Just reminds me how it was warm when she was here. I never noticed these cold nights. Her love kept me warm inside. God, I hate the winter, the cold stillness in the air that cuts right through you and lingers on for so long every year. Just reminds me how it was warm when she was here. She was here. She was here. She was here.
Okay.
This is kind of a newer song. Sometimes people can be so mean, make you question the things you believe. You may wonder, was it ever what you thought? Did we ever stand together? What tore us apart? Did we surrender to all the pain, all the chaos, all the rage? Love anyway, love anyway. In spite of the anger, in spite of the hate, love anyway, love anyway. If we ever hope for change, if there's ever hope for change, love anyway. Dark is darkest where there is no light. Wrong is wrongest where there is no right. Lies are lies and they're never true enough. And hate is hate in the absence of. But there is hope on common ground. All that matters is love anyhow, love anyway, love anyway. In spite of the anger, in spite of the hate, love anyway, love anyway. If we ever hope for change, if there's ever hope for change, love anyway. Thank you for having me. Thank you. Thank you.
That's Lance Cowan on the Blue Plate Special. Again, more information can be found at lancecowanmusic.com. His new project, So Far So Good, available out there on all those streaming platforms as well as here in the house. And feel free to shake and howdy afterwards. Again, Lance will be performing on Finally Friday for WMOT in Nashville, 3rd and Lindsley this Friday. And you can find his complete tour schedule right there on his website. Support for the WDVX Blue Plate Special comes from listeners just like yourselves, from the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, the Tennessee Arts Commission, downtown Knoxville, Visit Knoxville, and of course, Barley's in Knoxville's Old City. It's where we have the big plate on Fridays at noon. This Friday, the Vertical Birds will be with us. You can always find out who is headed in our direction by visiting our website there at WDVX.com. And once you get to the website, click at the very top, and it's going to take you to the website. So not only will you find out who's coming, but we'll link you to their website as well so you can learn a little bit more about the acts. And it's all right there at WDVX.com. So our next guest also is visiting with us from Nashville. You all give a great big welcome to Erik Stucky to the Blue Plate Special.
She took a night train, barreling down the Delta bound for New Orleans. And the stars shone like candles in the shadows of a young girl's dream. Staring out the window as the towns flew through the darkness and the steam. Certain everyone in Mississippi could hear that whistle scream. And swaying with the rails below and praying to the Milky Way above. Free to be yourself is something you can't ever get enough of. Misery turns to magical, the trouble falls behind her like the rain. Now she's rolling down the track, going anywhere but back. She took a night train. The feeling of passing through while other folks are sleeping, it's like flying. Something about the way it starts are hard to healing. Nothing this side of heaven like a Mississippi dawn. When the hell you left behind you, don't even know you're gone. Swaying with the rails below and praying to the Milky Way above. Free to be yourself is something you can't ever get enough of. Misery turns to magical, the troubles fall behind her like the rain. Now she's rolling down the track, going anywhere but back. She took a night train. Swaying with the rails below and praying to the Milky Way above. Free to be yourself is something you can't ever get enough of. Misery turns to magical, the troubles fall behind her like the rain. Now she's rolling down the track, going anywhere but back. She took a night train, barreling down the Delta bound for New Orleans. And the stars shone like candles in the shadows of a young girl's dream. Thank you. When the sun sets in the rear view mirror, it's the last time I'll be leaving here. It doesn't matter where I'm going, as long as the wheels are rolling. I won't be the shoulder for your tears. Yeah, the shoulder for your tears. The shoulder for your tears. When you look back, I know what you'll see. You won't admit that it was never me. You'll find a place to cry your blues, or someone else can fill my shoes. The shoulder for your tears. The shoulder It's the short end of the year. I won't be there to witness and watch you disappear. Yeah, the shoulder for your tears. I won't be the shoulder for your tears. I won't be the shoulder for your tears. I won't be the shoulder for your tears. Thank you.
This is Erik Stucky with us here today on the Blue Plate Special. So Erik also is based out of Nashville, but via Colorado. I
That's
believe.
right.
So how long have you been in Nashville?
I moved to Nashville February 15th, 2017.
Okay. So a few years now. Yeah.
It's 7 or 8. I
Okay.
haven't done yeah.
So were you obviously playing music in Colorado before you moved to Nashville?
Yeah,
You
that's-
moved specifically for music.
That's right. Yep.
Okay. So when did your musical beginnings start there in Colorado?
Man, I started playing the mandolin when I was 8, 9 years old, and grew up listening to Newgrass Revival that you mentioned earlier, and so that was my upbringing, was the bluegrass and newgrass world,
Right.
and then later in my teen years, early 20s, I got into songwriting, guitar playing, singing, and that just kind of took over as like my pursuit was the songwriting aspect.
Now, so often when you move to Nashville, I always ask people, do you do the co-writing thing? It's just a thing
Absolutely.
they do in Nashville.
Yeah, absolutely. I write a lot by myself and with other writers. When you first moved to town, or when I first moved to town, I was going to NSAI meetings and writing with everybody I could find, and then you find people that you can sit down and you just really vibe with. So, and it just kind of gets a little more selective as time goes on. But I still love writing with new people and as much as I can, meeting people and getting together and seeing what you make up.
Cool. So you have a new single out, Vigilante Love.
That's right.
Now, is that leading up to a new project that you're working on eventually?
Yes, it is. Without saying too much officially on the air, yeah, it is. It's a piece of a project. So,
All right.
Yeah, I'm happy to have that out, and
Well, you
more
can-
stuff coming.
I'm sure it's available on all those streaming platforms out there.
Yes, it is. Yeah, and I'll play it here in a little bit. So.
Okay. And you can find more information by visiting the website, erikstucky.com, ERIK. He will be headed back out to Colorado for a couple of shows, and then he's got one down in Texas coming up in mid-March, and then you're going to be doing a European tour. Is that what I heard earlier?
I'm going to be going over to England, Scotland, and Wales with David Starr. This is trip number 3 with him over there, and it's always a blast.
Well, you can feel free to stop by the merch table after the show, or just shake and howdy with our performers and thank them for making music for us here today. Again, erikstucky.com for more information. Y'all, it's Erik Stucky on the WDVX Blue Plate Special.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here, and hello to everybody listening that is not in the room. I'm going to play a tune that is on my first album. One of my steady co-writers, Bob Ray and I wrote this song. I believe this was the first song we ever wrote together. And usually if you get a good one the first time, it's going to be an ongoing relationship. This is called If the Storm Never Ends. Poet, my words get away. I hope you know that I mean what I say. Well, I'm only a man that loves you. Give me a chance to prove that it's true, and you'll never be all alone. You'll always have my hand to hold. What I'm trying to tell you, when you need, I will be your umbrella, and I will stand in the rain till the sun shines again, or forever if the storm never ends. There's only one way to give you enough. Every day you'll have all of my love, and you'll never be all alone. Yeah, you'll always have my hand to hold. What I'm trying to tell you, when you need, I will be your umbrella, and I will stand in the rain until the sun shines again, or forever if the storm never ends. What I'm trying to tell you, when you need, I will be your umbrella, and I will stand in the rain until the sun shines again, or forever if the storm never ends, or forever if the storm never ends. Thank you. It's a song called Southbound. She's not the kind of girl to give a damn about approval. All that she believes in is the scripture of removal. She'll leave you broken hearted with a Mona Lisa smile, and every fire she starts is left burning for a while. Many was the man who thought they caught her open-handed, to find out that she'd flown like a bird that never landed. Was southbound along the railroad track, southbound. That train ain't coming back, southbound. Can't say I wasn't warned, as sure as she was born. Her feet were only meant to touch the ground. Southbound. She's a beautiful distraction in her cowgirl boots. She keeps them babies dancing so they never grow roots. You might as well try to wrap your hands around the wind. Enjoy it while you can. She won't be back again. Well, I thought I knew what was what, but still she left me stranded. I had my irons hot, but I never got her branded. 'Cause southbound, along the railroad track, southbound, that train ain't coming back. Southbound, oh, let the world be warned. As sure as she was born, her feet were only meant to touch the ground. Oh, southbound. She won't be caught just a hanging around. She's not the kind who's got the time for slowing down. You'll find out for yourself before too long that the favorite sound she ever found is the train she's on leaving town. Well, southbound, along the railroad track, southbound, that train ain't coming back. Southbound, oh, let the world be warned. As sure as she was born, her feet were only meant to touch the ground. We're southbound.
Thank you guys. Thank you very much. Great. Got a couple more tunes here for you. This is a song that David Starr, who I do a lot of touring with, and I believe has been here before on the Blue Plate Special. He ended up recording this one this last year. Tune I wrote with Bob Ray and Chelsea Chaput, and this is called Because You're Right.
You once said I was too free, but in my mind there's no such thing. The way you live, the way I dream. If you were a rock, I was a stream. I was made to be in motion, always rolling, going like a river runs to the ocean. Well, I can cry and still be strong, because you're right doesn't make me wrong. You were a string, but I am no kite. You took a stand, and I took to flight. You set your feet on solid ground, and I set my heart on leaving town. I was made to be in motion, always rolling, going like a river runs to the ocean. Well, I can cry and still be strong, because you're right doesn't make me wrong. I was made ocean, always rolling, going like a river runs to the ocean. Well, I can cry and still be strong, because you're right doesn't make me wrong. Because you're right doesn't make me wrong. Thank you, guys.
This is Erik Stucky with us here today on the Blue Plate Special. We will get one last tune from Erik, but how about one more round of applause for Lance Cowan, the first half of the show here today. So, y'all, the Pleasures will be joining us tomorrow once again, visiting from Australia. You can always find out who is headed in our direction by visiting our website there at WDVX.com. Feel free to shake and howdy with our performers afterwards and thank them for making music for us here today on the Blue Plate Special. ErikStucky.com for more information. Erik, thank you so much for coming over and being here with us today. Will you leave us with the last one?
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. This is a song that just recently came out in January. It's called Vigilante Love, and it can be found on all the streaming platforms. Here you go.
I was a wild desperado, roping right in the wind, faster than anyone to break for the setting sun and ride around the next bend. I thought I'd go out with aces and eights, but she called the bluff on my renegade ways. Vigilante love was there to hold me up. I tried to get out of town, but the sun's going down, and now I just can't get enough vigilante love. Drifted far from the highway, the sand, the ice, and the fire. I was lost in the Badlands where she reached from my hand and untangled my heart from the wire. Vigilante love was there to hold me up. Tried to get out of town, but the sun's going down, and now I just can't get enough. I thought I was free, I didn't know till she came for me. Release my soul. there to hold me up. Thank you guys very much.
That's Erik Stucky. Thank y'all. Join us again next time for more real live music on the Blue Plate Special.